everyone, and welcome once again to the Asean Basketball League in the 2017-18 season, right here on Star Hub today. A round two game between the visiting CLS Knights from Indonesia. We look at some of the crowd bursting their way through the seams here at the OCBC Arena. The hometown, the Singapore Slingers, here at the OCBC Arena, the Lion City of Singapore. Chuck Schreiner, Marco Benitez with you. Confirmation of our first game from the arena today. Singapore Slingers going against the CLS Knights, the new team in the league. Well, Indonesia not really new in the league. They have been around, but after a 2 or 3 year hiatus, here they are back again. So the Slingers and them getting ready to tip off here a first home game season for the Slingers. Now these teams coming off of two very different opening games. The Knights in their first season were successful in pummeling Formosa Dreamers 94-73. Not so good for the Slingers as they went down to defeat in a team with China 83-59, the Kung Fu team, and Justin Howard getting a measure of revenge as we look at some of the younger fans here of the ABL and what a season we've got on tap for you as we look at the coach Coco in his colorful batik shirt for the KLS team, the Knights, who are loaded with foreign and domestic players, and this ought really to be a great game as we get ready for the tip-off. Crowd, as we said, still slipping in here to the arena, and we're going to look at some of the players from the Slingers. Right there is Wright. He is the first import here signed this season, taking the place of Justin Howard, who, as we said, went to China to ply his trade. The 37-year-old, what a 2-year spell he had in Singapore, but it is the Wright era right now, and he started off the season well enough, 26 points, as we look at a full view of the Singapore OCBC Arena. They are the Knights there in blue in their huddle. There is Lish there. You might have known him as Freddie Goldstein. He is already making his mark felt for this team, averaging 14 points and 8 rebounds per game as they are getting some last-minute instruction by this colorful coaching staff from Indonesia in their traditional batik shirts.
So time to be the starting lineups for both teams.
And we'll have the introductions of the teams here in just a minute. So Marco, good-looking start to the season here for these hometown Slingers. Great-looking crowd on hand.
Yes, it's great to be here, Chuck, and it's going to be a pleasure to see the Singapore Slingers finally debut here at the OCB Arena.
This is a purpose-built stadium as we look at Goldstein there in the introduction of these KLS or CLS team, and Freddie Lish. Again, we know him as Freddie Goldstein, 5'10", 160 pounds. He is a dual national player, 29 years of age. Mario Wysong, 5'9", 168-pound guard. William Duke Cruz, by the way, will not be here today. He is injured. More about that a little bit later. There's Mura Wisnu, Sandy Kurniaman, Rachman Utomo, Arath Hadiat and company. And introducing the rest of this team, there is number 24, Mohamed Saroni, 6'6", 225 center, 21 years of age. Brian Williams, a 6'10 center, 276 pounds, a 30-year-old. Got 13 points last week against Formosa, 6 boards and 6 assists. And by the way, Evan Brock, number 2, the 6'10 center, he has been brought in to replace William Duke Cruz, who again hurt himself last week, so filling in the roster space for the CLS Knights. On the other side of the ball, Singapore Slingers. Rapturous applause they get, and with good reason, the Slingers have made the finals in the ABL the last 2 seasons. Trying to take that one step further this year with a lot of familiar names that Singapore can cheer for. Desmond O, he will not be starting today. Defensive specialist, 5'8", 169 pounds, 31 years of age, 8 years in the league. By the way, this is the 9th season of the ABL. There is Loon right there, one of the younger players. As Singapore continues to blossom into a basketball town. More of the role players being introduced for the Singapore Slingers. Larry Liu, number 11, 6'3", 183 pounds, guard forward. He's 24 years of age. There is Ung there. They're expecting big things from him this year. Shooting guard. Kelvin Lim, 22, the 6'3" forward, only 21 years of age. So Singapore hoping to get some of their younger players a taste of the action. Russell Lowe, they're expecting a lot of big things from Russell with the loss of Justin Howard, 6'6", 231 pounds, only 24 years old. His footwork down in the low post, much better. This is a guy brought in to take the place of Howard Ryan Wright. He had 26 points last week in the losing effort against China. 6'9" jumping jack, 30 years of age, a Canadian. And there from the Philippines, A.J. Mandini. He will be running the point guard position, 5'11", 185 pounds, 30-year-old. Had 3 points last week in that losing effort. And there's a man coming back for his third time, Xavier Alexander, 6'5", 210 pounds, 29 years of age, 14 points, 7 assists, and 8 rebounds last week. Mitchell Folkoff, he's back on the team after an injury last year, 5'8", he'll be starting guard. And Delvin Go. So that is your starting 5 and your remaining players for the Singapore Slingers. We said they've made the finals the last 2 years in a row. They are lining up to play the CLS Knights. What a game this should be. So shaking hands, we're just a few minutes away from the tip-off today at the arena. So we will go into the starting 5s. We mentioned the whole team, so let's check out the starting 5s from CLS here. Slingers in their traditional red and white uniforms. As we look at the starting 5 for these Knights. There they are right there. Freddie Lish, you know him as Freddie Goldstein, Mario Wysong, Brian Williams, Sandy Kernyawan, and Evan Brock, who we said came in to replace the hurt William Cruz. So the starting 5 for the CLS Knights, and we'll talk more about them later. A loaded team. They've got some locals that can really fill it up as well. Singapore Slingers, some familiar names that you will know. A.J. Mandani, he comes from the Philippines, again brought in to run the offense. Folkoff, Alexander, Wright, and Go. So we talked about the league a little bit before the start of the season. And I'll tell you what, the 9th year of the ABL season, and it promises to be the most competitive yet. We have 9 teams in the league as we look a little bit of the Lion City, and we'll be talking to some of the Singapore Slingers teammates and finding out what their thoughts are on the 2017-18
Asean
season now.
League.
The ABL has grown in the past 3 years that I've been here.
I think it's developing more and more and more into a basketball country.
I'm very excited to play for the Singapore Slingers.
I think this season is one of the strongest.
We're definitely working towards reaching the finals and winning the finals.
We stay positive and we still believe that we can make it for another run.
We are definitely looking forward to being in the finals again, and hopefully this time we can win the championship.
So 9 teams in the tournament now, tournament format separated by regionals. We look at Group 1, Group 2, Group 3 teams within the same group play each other 4 times, twice at home and twice away. You can see Singapore stuck in the middle of that Group 2. Teams from different groups will play each other twice, 1 home and 1 away. So a total of 20 games. And there would be the tournament format. Now the best 2 teams in the league, win-loss-wise, will get a bye all the way to the semifinals, quarterfinals. The 3rd seed will play the 6th seed, where the winners go on to play the 2nd seed in the semis. 3 will play 5. Quarterfinals and semifinals will be played in a best-of-3 format. The final played in a best-of-5 series as well. So new format because we do have 9 teams this year. As we look at the Singapore Slingers in their huddle, getting last-minute instructions, and Marco Benitez, a couple of teams that have a lot to make up for, especially the Slingers losing on the road big, and then a team from Indonesia. They have to prove that their win against Formosa, one of the neophytes in this league, was no fluke. They're here to play a powerhouse Singapore team. You have a team that is very quick, traditionally down the court, looking to make some noise in transition against a team who has a lot of beef inside.
That is correct, Chuck. And you know, Singapore is going to have to look to start out really strong here. They start out a little bit flat-footed against the Chongson Kung Fu Basketball Club. It was a 10-2 start for them. So especially here at home, they're going to have to draw a lot of energy from the home crowd to really bring it against the CLS Knights.
Now on the other side of the ball, the CLS Knights, we saw that they have a replacement player. They got Brian Williams, who is 6'10", a center, but they replaced the hurt Cruz with another guy with a lot of beef, Evan Brock, 6'10", 220. And you just wonder how Singapore is going to be able to cope with all that beef downstairs.
Well, they're going to have to hope that they can pack it inside and really challenge the shooters of CLS as much as so that they'll be able to miss from the outside, because you can see Williams and Brock will be a force in the middle.
And here we go. The fans are ready. Let's do it. Ball controlled by Andre in the backcourt by Singapore. Rotates the ball over to Alexander. Looking left, swings the ball over there. Volkov curls off of the screen. right all alone. Gets the ball downstairs again. Post-up move, little drop step, kick back outside. Volkov with the shot from 3, no good. So 1 and out for Singapore. Quickly Williams coming back the other way for the Knights with the ball. Rotating the ball over to Lish. Lish, a little drop step move inside, cuts in between 2 players. Shot from the left-hand side by number 9 is off the mark. That was Sandy.
And that's something that we're really going to have to put a body on because he hit 3 last game against Formosa.
So again, swinging with the ball. Mandani, nice little pass inside from the elbow. Right!
And it's nice that they get AJ Mandani to carry the ball out because Xavier Alexander did that so much in that last game.
Trying to find the right combination of guards. Singapore, as we said, is going to have to establish themselves from the perimeter. Quick pass to the right side. Lish all alone takes a shot, no good. Offensive forward inside. Lish in between the towers there. We'll have to bring it back outside. He'll swing it. You have number 33 checking into there. Brian Williams outside and a whistle, blocking foul. That will go, I believe, on Delvin Go, number 23, as he has worked with Alexander.
And you know that Freddie Lish really likes to play with the defense, likes to use his ball handling skills, likes to penetrate and probe a lot.
Personnel foul number 20.
So the ball kicked out. Lish will try to run the baseline again. He dances inside, off the screen inside. Little hesitation move back outside. Lish getting free. Ball free is going to be off the mark. He's over to Volkov brings down the board. Alexander Mondani, long pass down court, is broken up by CLS. They had active hands inside the lane. Wide open look. Sandy flushed off one defender. The 3 is off, so Indonesia starting cold.
And that's something Sandy's always going to be looking for. Singapore has to take care of the ball because CLS likes to run, especially off live ball turnovers.
Sandy, Kertajaya. So he's 0 for 2. Ball checked in here on the near side. Volkov gets the ball to right downstairs to Alexander. Quick jab step downstairs. He clears the ball out. Nandernay from the elbow. Shot 2.
Better flow to the offense of the Singapore Slingers to start here, 4-0.
So pushing the ball hard. Indonesia downstairs it goes off the hands of number 2. That is Brock Evans. So first turnover of the game goes the way of Singapore. So we talked about that. You know, Singapore maybe with a slight difference or advantage on speed getting down the court, but my goodness, Indonesia can really push the ball as well.
That is correct, and they're going to try to do that every time, off a miss or off a make.
Volkov swings it over to the right. Mondani looking for movement. He doesn't get it. Up comes the screen. Right throws that. He'll roll off of that. Mondani looking inside. Good defense. Nice recovery inside right. Bumping and grinding inside, and he is fouled.
Slightly different look here for the Slingers, Chuck. You see Alexander playing more inside the paint. Wright likes to hang around in that 15-foot area, which he is very effective at.
Another look at it right there. Alexander being forced into a role as the number 4. We talked about that a little bit before the game. A position that's not altogether unfamiliar with him, but they would rather have him slash and burn inside. Shot from punch back outside. Volkov picks it up. Right hand dribble. Delvin Go tries to go baseline. He's cut off. Back outside to Alexander. Nice screen thrown by Go. He goes off of that.
That's a good start for Alexander. Got to give him confidence from the outside. He only made 5 field goals in that last game.
So quick 6-0 lead for the Slingers. Back come Indonesia. Stutter step inside. No look pass. Around they swing it. Williams head down. Rolls to the basket. Up and in.
That's going to be a tough matchup for Delvin Go. Has to really move his feet and put a body on Brian Williams.
Long pass downstairs again. You can see, looked like Brock fronting that time on Ryan Wright. They couldn't get the ball over his head. They did not get the wingspan of these interior players of Indonesia.
Nice idea from Xavier Alexander. He has the height advantage against Freddie Lish.
Volkov. Alexander post-up move. Long cross-court pass. Mondani had the hot hand a little bit earlier. Off the mark that time. 1 and out. Quickly back comes Indonesia. Nice job on the run. Spotting up and stepping in the lane. Active hands is Alexander right where he likes to be. Splitting in the lane. Off the pass up and in. No foul. Great play by Alexander.
Good decision there by Alexander.
Almost getting the interception there. Sandy again rotates the ball up to the top to Evans. Evans off to Woisang, who rotates the ball. Williams, oh yes, beautiful step that time, getting around Delvin Go, the drop step,
and
taking him to the cleaners.
Let's see if Coach Neo sends a little bit more help there for Delvin Go.
Delvin Go has made a lot of strides in his footwork downstairs, but Williams just ate his lunch that time. Go with the ball now, handling. Rotates the ball inside Alexander. Nice stop by Alexander, getting behind his defenders. And the Indonesian defense that time getting caught ball washing that time.
That's great execution there. Great entry pass coming from right.
Inside it goes, foul, and that will go on right. Little mismatch he's got in there.
You see the versatility of the world imports for CLS. Both guys can play down low, and Evan Brock can also attack from the outside.
Saw an example of that right there. So back outside it goes. Williams running the point. He'll slash inside now, goes to the high block. Right with the double team. What a mismatch you've got there. And again, eating them up alive. Right around Volkov. Delvin Go coming over the weak side help a little bit too late.
And that is what Mario Wuisang gives you. He's a master of using that pick and roll, finding that open man. That time that was Brian Williams. Easy 2 points.
Watch it again on the previous play. There's Alexander. So Xavier Alexander with 4 early points for Singapore. Make that 6. Free throw to complete the 3-point play. So a 10-6 game now. Slingers up by 4, 5:45 to go here.
You know, Wuisang had 7 assists, Chuck, in that last game. So despite just having 3 points, was able to play make a lot. And this is what they like to do. They like to put a lot of pressure on the backcourt.
Mandani yo-yoing down the right-hand side. He's got Alexander in front of him. Right pops up. Alexander dancing in the lane there. Back out top is Russell Lowe. They find Lowe. Lowe can hit from there. Shot will be a 2 if it goes. If it does not, rising, tapping the ball away is right. Out of bounds it goes. It'll be Indonesia ball. So right, instead of grabbing on, just sort of tapped it. He was last touched by him. So error of omission there, not really a turnover.
Well, that shot for Russell Lowe is going to be open practically the entire afternoon if they're going to be doubling Xavier Alexander.
Low right now again. Oh, Evan Brock going right around him. And we talked at the beginning of the game, the experience that these Indonesian bigs have over Singapore, pretty much neophytes when it comes to patrolling their positions right now. They're getting chewed up a little bit at the moment.
And you see the explosiveness of Evan Brock off the dribble.
Ticky-tack foul there on number 5, Wuisang. Holding on just slightly, so referees calling things very closely now. A timeout on the bench. It looked like that timeout will go the way of the night. So far, Marco, going sort of the way we thought it would, because Indonesia establishing themselves down low, but a little bit surprising that Indonesia, the bigs, doing it off the dribble.
That is correct, and they're trying to exploit their advantage. They feel they have the quick disadvantage against the bigs of Singapore. What I like about Singapore is they've given Indonesia a couple of different looks. They went with Alexander in the post. Last time, they went with him off the weave from the perimeter. So good start here for Singapore.
Mid-range jumpers are hitting the mark for the Slingers. As we said, Alexander leading the way with 6 points, right with a pair. Monaghan with a pair too, and I think very, very important for A.J. Monaghan to take this team over, take them under his wing. He's got a wealth of experience. I know he hasn't been in the game for a little while. He's bounced around a little bit, but that is an advantage in a way. You've seen a lot of teams who've been in different situations before, and they're hoping that Monaghan is the guy that can get this team rolling, sort of like Chris Rosales did a few years ago. You remember the success that they had with him running the point.
That is correct, and you know, the confidence Coach Nyo is giving to him starting out at the point guard spot. What I like also about the Slingers is they only have a turnover here to start the ball game out, so not a lot of opportunities for Indonesia to really get out on the break.
So far, the Freddie Lish show has yet to go on track. He missed his first couple of shots. So other guys stepping it up, but really getting the ball to the bigs. That has been the name of the game for the Knights early on. And time in at the 4:59 mark. Chuck Schreiner along with Marco Benitez. So happy you can spend part of your Sunday afternoon here. ABL basketball, the opening game here at the OCBC Arena for the Slingers, who are 0-1 going against a 1-0 CLS Knights from Indonesia. A foul, holding on again. And Alexander find the mismatch there against Lish right away.
And it looks like they're going to try to attack that mismatch. And if they can get Freddie Lish into foul trouble, that's going to be a big boost here for Singapore.
Alexander to right, back to Alexander. Looking for the screen, doesn't get it. He pops back out. In the lane is Lowe. Finding Monaghan. Outside, in and out it goes. Reaching up for it and coming down with it. 1 and out. And pushing the ball is Brock. Brock to Lish on the... Looked like the Euro step there for a moment, not able to finish it off. Fouled from behind. That'll send Lish to the line as we watch it again.
Well, there you see the dilemma there. Evan Brock being the one to start out the break, and then Freddie Lish running on the wing.
So Lish/Goldstein at the line. As we said, 14 points in that winning effort the other night against Formosa. Misses the first one there. A veteran of this league. He's also played in Thailand. Had a cup of coffee with Malaysia as well. So his third team, 0 for 2, stepping in the lane and getting it, is Coach Coco looking on there.
All of Indonesia's points coming from inside the paint, Chuck.
So Alexander on the rotation. No high screens being thrown yet. Inside the lane. Rotation now to the left. Volkov inside, right. Hesitation. His fallback jumper is way off the mark. And that Evan Brock was right in his pocket. Good rotation. Baseline move. Kick back outside. And still looking for their first shot, but getting it there. The tip back up, believe, by Williams that time.
And then again, they have to get good inside position there by Brian Williams.
So the Knights, their first lead of the afternoon, 11-10. Volkov trying to be creative inside. Luckily, the ball falling right back in his lap. Wright has that shot if he wants it. Little turnaround move, the reverse inside and a foul.
Williams asking for a traveling, but that was a good move there from Ryan Wright.
You said Wright likes to wheel and deal. He doesn't like to be guarded up close. Watch this. He will never go straight to the rack. He does have those moves. Got a quick first step. He can jump out of the gym. I think on YouTube they've got a best of dunk sequence by Wright. Different localities that he's been in through the years. 30 years of age, the Canadian. This is the first of 2.
And if I'm not mistaken, he had about 3 dunks against Chongson Kung Fu whenever they found him inside the paint.
Good look at the 30-year-old. They brought in here to make the team a little bit more athletic. The departure of Justin Howard, who had a big game against these same Slingers the other night on the 17th, 15 points, 14 boards inside. Look off the mark. Nice play by Wright to cut off the path to the basket. Alexander pushing it. Out of bounds it goes. Last touch by Hu. Disagreement by the referees, and the referee, who really was not in the position to make that call, gets the last word. So Singapore will have the ball. Let's watch it again, Marco.
There's Woysan trying to get that deflection.
Whoa, I don't know.
Oh, it looks like they had an argument there.
So the near ref does not get the call there. Overruled. So Alexander from the baseline. Pop-up pass. Back-up jumper. Way short by Wright. My goodness.
Babied that one.
So right side looking for movement. They kick it back outside. He's got Williams lurking on the left-hand side. A little spin move around one screen. And the game now is number 11 for Singapore. That is Larry Liu. Oh, nice passing sequence inside to Goldstein or Leash running the baseline.
Great back cut there from Petty Leash. Wright not really in his comfort zone guarding the perimeter.
So now Wright on the outside gets the ball inside, getting the contact on Williams. Not a bad strategy there by Alexander. He does have great control in the air, so worth a shot.
And you know, great isolation there between the two bigs. They found Alexander on that left block. That mismatch is going to be available to them.
Under 3 minutes to go here at the OCBC Arena. We've got a good one, 13-10 in favor of the Knights over the Singapore Slingers, their first home game of the year. 0-1. Both these teams shooting in the mid-70s in their initial game. Singapore usually a little bit, leaving a little bit left to be desired in the free throw shooting aspect of their game last year, averaging right around 67-68%. Alexander 1 of 2, so they get to within the bucket.
Alexander averaged about 60% from the free throw stripe, so splits that one. New faces on the floor here for Indonesia.
So we'll get those names to you just as soon as we ascertain the numbers here as they've got the ball. Left-hand dribble. Liu working on him. Is number 5, Mario Wasan. Little hesitation move. Catch and shoot that left-hand side off the mark again, holding from behind. One of the guys we were talking about that just checked into the game.
I believe that's number 16, Nugroho.
So Nugroho, Furman Nugroho, the 6'8" forward center, 27 years of age. He had a pair of points last week against Formosa, so back down the other end we go.
Good inside position from Russell Lowe there, and Indonesia in the penalty already. So every time down the floor, it's going to be a chance to get to the free throw stripe here for the Slingers.
Slingers played the vast majority of their first few games away. Their next home game, December 10th. There is a colorful coach for the CLS Knights right there, Coco. Asked him what he wanted me to call him in the interview. He says, yeah, Coach Coco. His full name, Coco Hiru Setio Nugroho. Coco. Backup jumper, left-hander. Can't get it to fall. Rebound, skying for it is He's just checked into the game. Alexander perched out on the left. Russell Lowe comes up for the high post. Swing the ball over. Dancing through the middle is Alexander. Alexander with the ball now. Alexander. And a foul inside, and Alexander causing all sorts of havoc in the middle there.
They put a new guy on him. This was a Gamilang. He was the player of the game for the week for the CLS Knights. A little bigger than Freddie Lish. Tried to back tap there.
Came along 14 points off the bench last week. 6-foot forward. 26 years of age. Coach Neo and Michael Johnson looking on rather pensively, especially Coach Johnston. And Alexander at the line again for the second straight possession.
And this is already the 6th trip to the free throw stripe for the Slingers.
You've got to convert these free throws and see how important that is, especially a game like this promises to be back and forth. You've got to strike when you get the freebies.
Right now, they're just 1 out of 6 from the charity stripe.
Make that 2 of 7. So Slingers creeped within a point. Mario. On him is Larry Liu. Going around one screen, picking it back outside again. Long three is off the mark again, and still Indonesia coming up with nothing from the perimeter, Marco.
That's a great forward pass there.
Beautiful pass. A little bit of laziness. Not getting back on defense, allowing Wright to sneak in back of his defender, and to make matters worse, he fouls. So you compound your mistake.
That's something Wright did against Chong Son Kung Fu. He really ran the floor really well, and Xavier Alexander doing well to find him on the break.
And that's not going to do it from Otumo, just putting your hands up with your back turned to the play. Short. Ball controlled by Lowe inside, and he's fouled.
Another trip to the charity stripe here for Russell Lowe.
Foul will go on Utomo again. That will be 2 on him. So Singapore able to slow the clock down and get trips to the line. And as we said before, matter of can they convert.
Russell Lowe was 0 for 2 the last trip down to the free throw stripe. New faces on the floor once again here for Indonesia. So Coach Coco really shuffling his men.
Number 27, Bima Ardiansah checking in the game now. Another 6-foot forward.
And he was their energy guy off the bench against Formosa. He scored 5 points in a hurry. I believe that was in the second quarter.
That's right. Ripped down 4 boards on top of that. So Russell finally breaking through for the Slingers, who now control the 3-point lead with under a minute to go here in the first quarter. It's been a good one, as we would expect. Again, Marco Benitez, Chuck Schreiner, so happy you could spend part of your time with us on this Sunday afternoon. Home opener for the Singapore Slingers. We look at Coach Neo on the timeout now for the CLS Knights. And just surmising, Marco, what do you suppose Coach Coco is talking to his players about now?
Well, I think Coach Coco is going to tell his players to try to keep pushing the ball, try to get opportunities in transition. He's going to tell them that eventually their 3-pointers are going to go in. They're 0 for 7 right now. Singapore so far, I feel, is dictating the pace of the game.
Singapore having a lot of success, especially with Alexander slashing and burning to the basket. We're sort of forcing the Knights to either let him go through or foul, and that's a no-brainer there. You can't just let him have a free path to the basket. So we talked about how guys like Alexander and Wright could be the difference on the inside, although the beef is all on the other side of the court. But a little bit of speed off the ball especially belongs to the Slingers, at least so far in the first quarter.
And Slingers also are going to have to get a lot more support from their local guys, especially because that kick out off the double team on Alexander is going to be available for them the entire afternoon.
So Singapore hitting their perimeter shots, not so much for the Knights. The Knights have done their damage so far off the dribble with their bigs, being able to roll to the basket, using their footwork against the neophytes inside, especially number 23, Delvin Go. He was victimized a couple times, but also Volkov as well. So Indonesia with the ball, coming at you from left to right in the purple and gray uniforms. Liu, Alexander doubling. Let's see what we have grabbing on. Will that go on Alexander or Liu? It's going to be on Larry.
And I was about to say that was a good double team there coming from Xavier Alexander. Wei Sang did not have much to work with, but there was a foul there on Liu.
Yeah, I don't think he even saw the X-Man coming. So now Singapore in the penalty in the last minute 37.
Singapore already with 7 fast break points shot compared to 0 for CLS. So it shows you that they've been able to get out on the break.
Well, that was Singapore's goal at in between the season. That was one of the reasons why they did not bring back Justin Howard. They wanted to get a little bit more athletic and take advantage of their perceived strengths getting into the open court. As Blair hits the floor, that's Cerrone. Valiant attempt to save that ball out of bounds to no avail. Alexander, left-hand dribble, gets it across the line. Looking for a movement. Low rotates the ball over to the right side in the hands of Liu. Alexander back outside again. Right inside to Low, puts the ball on the floor, up and in. Nice little drop step by Russell Lowe.
That's great movement, great patience there on offense from the Slingers.
Russell Lowe does have the strength inside and does have superior footwork to Delvin Go. Little runner in the lane is going to be off the mark. Alexander with the rebound, looking down court, gets the ball to Liu. Will fire it up from the perimeter, no good. Lowe with the rebound and a foul, and that will put Russell Lowe at the line once again. Good position downstairs below the defense, Marco.
Solid play so far from Russell Lowe. I have him already for 2 rebounds. And we saw that offensive work there by Russell Lowe.
Brock trying to come over from the weak side a little bit too late. So Russell at the line again for 2. Low scoring first quarter, relatively speaking. I think we'd have to say 18 points to 14, and miss on the first shot by Russell. He hit both ends of the 2 last time.
And I think importantly also, the world imports of CLS already with personal fouls. So that might play a factor. Williams has 2, Brock has a 1 personal foul on him.
Off the dribble, cutting through the lane and converging on the ball handle. I believe Russell Lowe will get called for that foul. Yes. So for Russell, that will be his first foul. 16th foul on Singapore.
That was actually great defense there on the part of Ryan Wright, just stuck in front of Evan Brock, who kind of forced that penetration.
Since that timeout, Singapore doing a much better job of covering on the perimeter, closing down the penetration and miss there. So neither one of these teams really lighten it up from the line as we dip down to under 45 seconds here in the first quarter. 1 of 2. Hope you got a chance to look at the format, the new format. We do have 9 teams. There's Coach Coco right there in his splendid looking petite shirt. Kicked back outside by Wright. Rubbing off the screen there is Alexander looking downstairs. He's got who curls up. Russell Lowe now back outside. Will fire up a 3 off the mark, 1 and out. Stepping into the lane is Utomo to rip down the board, back the other way. Otomo with the crossover. He's got Alexander working on him. So they're going to spread it out. 13 seconds. The shot clock is off, so they'll play for the last shot here in the first quarter. See what he can do off the dribble. There is the screen inside the lane, back outside, show and go. The long shot from 3 is going to be off the mark, and that will do it. So close first quarter. It was nice as far as getting the ball inside. Singapore has the advantage with the outside shooting at the end of 1 quarter here at the OCBC Arena. Slingers 18, Knights 15 when we return.
up too early. Second stagger, if they help, you can win.
Yes, I'm gonna do. Yes. All right.
1-4, I want extra
3, 2, 1, go.
This is the one that I want X to close out.
And for the Suzuki, the team that makes us there, go. And then if you lose the one, after the team to go.
Okay? Right?
Well, that's right, you need to make the top first.
5 and 4, you hear right? Guys,
So good part, thank you.
first stagger out.
The oversized jersey on the Singapore Slingers.
Yourself be available as well. Okay, this guy leave up and back. Got it? Hey, you are doing fine.
Both teams are open with close. Asean in the lead. For the win! Oh! This segment. Again, another shot, Asean.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 18-15 your score. Singapore Slingers over the CLS Knights at the end of one quarter. And both these teams getting to where they are in different routes. Singapore Slingers doing it from the outside. Good ball rotation. And towards the end of the quarter, Marco Benitez getting the ball inside via the play of Xavier Alexander, but also rotating Ryan Wright inside and putting the inside bigs for Indonesia. A little bit off balance.
That is correct, and they're also doing a great job on the defensive end. Indonesia has yet to hit a three-point shot. Singapore has been able to convert on their turnovers. 4 points off turnovers for Singapore, 7 points on fast breaks, while Indonesia has not been able to score in transition in that first quarter.
Also, Indonesia not very good from the perimeter, as we said. Lish was in there. He jacked up 2 or 3 threes with to no avail, but they did, however, find some success rotating their bigs downstairs. Brian Williams off the dribble a couple times against Delvin Go, and also get into the race was Evan Brock. A couple of buckets for him that way as well. Indonesia with the ball here in the purple and gray. Coming at you from left to right off the dribble. Wright stepping in the lane there. Did he get a piece, or was that Alexander?
Xavier Alexander is first.
And that will be indeed on the X-Man, so he has one. Really no Slingers in foul trouble. We have 5 or 6 guys with 1 foul on the other side of the ball, dealing with 2. And we'll get some stats here from the first quarter just as soon as we can. 7 of 17 for the Slingers, so not bad shooting from the floor. Rebound there by Wright.
Let's see if they try to go back to Xavier Alexander with a mismatch against Lish.
And just as you were saying, from outside, that was on Ben. And anything they can get from him is a bonus. Last year, he would have a few games where he would be able to be successful from the perimeter, but great to get him off the mark early, and a totally inadvertent trip on the other side. Freddie Lish just getting his foot tangled up with the X-Man as we watch it again. Now here is the no-look pass on the other side. A little catch and shoot, and really the player, I guess, Evan Brock not getting out on the shooter, and he pays the price. So 5-point lead for the Slingers.
They try to go to post it once again against Xavier Alexander.
Both these teams taking care of the ball pretty well. Larry Liu with a long shot. Yes, from 3 is good. 23-15.
Back-to-back outside shots here for the Singapore Slingers, forcing that timeout from Indonesia.
Well, that's what the Slingers had hoped to happen. You want to loosen up the interior defense. All you got to do is start hitting some shots from outside. First now Liu have lit it up, and the Knights are going to have to reassess their defensive alignment now. They're going to have to put some hands in the shooter's face.
That is correct, and really 5-0 blast here to start out the second quarter for Singapore. Just what the doctor ordered here. Nice tap out there by Ryan Wright.
Liu does a rest with the catch and shoot. Talk about the stats in the first quarter, Marco. Both teams doing a pretty good job of taking care of the ball. Nice with 2 turnovers. The Slingers with only 1.
Well, that's really good. A good job there on the part of Singapore. AJ Mandani, Xavier Alexander, the guys who shared the role bringing the ball up the floor. And let's see if they can limit their turnovers to probably 10 or less. Then that's going to be a big plus for Coach Neo Beng Shan.
Slingers shooting 41.2% from the floor. The Knights shooting 37.5%. But of course, you said the statistic that glares out at you is 0 of 5 from beyond the arc for the Knights. So they're going to have to improve on that, and they will.
I know the Knights, they're a team that likes to capitalize on turnovers, had 17 turnover points against the Dreamers. So far now, Singapore is successful in really stifling that.
Lish, post up downstairs. Williams with the shot over the right shoulder is no good. Had the mismatch down there. Dancing across the lane is Alexander, going east to west. Good hang time and a foul. What is that going to be? A offensive foul on Alexander, I believe. So that'll be 2 on the X-Man.
Tough call there. Great drive there from Alexander, but good position on the part of Brian Williams.
Watch it again and see if we can pick it up. Over from the weak side. Yep, good call. So Williams smelling that play out before it happened, getting position. So 2 on the X-Man now. A little bit of housekeeping now by the maintenance staff to get the moisture off the floor.
And I like what Singapore is doing, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handler.
Brock, left hand, right, swings it in and knocked away by Russell Lowe. I believe that will be 2 on Lowe.
And Brock has really been aggressive here in the first half. Once he's gotten that matchup against Russell Lowe from the outside.
Well, he's got that wingspan, that long first step, as we saw. Remember, Brock, 6'10" center, only 220 pounds, so it's not like he's carrying a whole lot of extra weight around with him.
And I think he's getting Russell Lowe a little bit off balance, especially since he's a lefty.
Brock, 33 years of age. Had a cup of coffee with the Atlanta Hawks back in 2010. University of Alabama, graduated in 2006. So he misses the second. 23-16, Slingers in control by 7. Alexander with the ball on the right, swings it back to right. Now Alexander cuts across the middle. Lish all over him. He's got Brock behind him. Ball kicked off in the lane. Russell Go, check that, Delvin Go, not a smart pass at all. Let's see if he's made to pay. Yes, he is.
And that's what you don't want to give Indonesia, that open look in transition. First transition, 3-point shot from Sandy Kurniawan.
So first long range success there for the Knights, 23-19. They trail by 8, so a little 5-0 mini run. Liu, Alexander, right pops up. He'll throw the screen and roll off of that. Alexander with a long 3, no good. A little bit out of his range. Williams rips down the board. Back the other way is Wisnu. Now to Williams again off the dribble, no good. I don't know what that was. Delvin Go rips down the board. He runs into a wall and he's trapped, gets around it. Gets the ball past half court. Somehow, sloppy play by both these teams on that possession. My goodness, I don't know what Delvin Go was thinking about. You've got to get rid of the ball if you don't want him bringing the ball up. Lucky to get away with it that time.
The guards of Singapore have to do a better job coming up and getting that ball from their big man. You can't really ask Delvin Go to bring the ball up against ball pressure from Indonesia.
I like the guard tandem that Singapore started with A.J. Mondani and Mitch Volkov. Now that we've not seen Desmond O yet for the Slingers yet, so Volkov does check back into the game. The Slingers will inbound it from the near side, nursing the 4-point lead. Go gets the ball to Alexander down on the low block. Williams will come over and help out there. Now he faces up, long cross-court pass, rotation down to the other side. Go turns the corner, gets around Evan Brock. So quick first step with the left foot, no less.
But that's 2 times that they've sent the double early on Xavier Alexander.
The ball knocked away. Let's see who touched it last. Wright, who could not control it. Good job by the Slingers to converge on the ball handler.
And good recognition on Alexander on that other end to move the ball, skip it to the other side.
And inside the lane it goes. Can't get it to go. That was with the left hand. Very awkward looking shot there. Ball in the hands of Alexander, takes it to the house.
And that is where Alexander is at his best, in the open floor. Easy 2 points.
Good recognition by Go as he takes that one extra dribble. Then he runs Alexander right behind him. He gets the ball in full stride, and the rest is history. Backup jumper. There is good. Williams.
And you'd rather have that mid-range shot from Williams rather than him scoring from down low.
Try to open up the defense for the Knights. Wide open look. Little push shot's going to be well short. Looked like it slipped out of Go's hand. Now pushing the ball back up the court is Lish. Lish to Sandy. Now mismatch inside. Alexander comes over the weak side, help rotation. Wisnu from the left side, he's going to be off the mark. Out of bounds it goes. Last touch by Indonesia, I believe. Let's see. On the floor is Williams, and not very happy, so the ball will be in the hands of the Singapore Slingers. Williams saying, no, I wasn't the last one to touch that ball.
Mario Wusang not showing a lot of confidence in his outside stroke, immediately went for the offensive rebound. Another good stop here for the Slingers. So Mandani and Volkov now manning the backcourt here for the guys in white.
I think that's their strongest guard tandem at the moment anyway. Mandani's already hit one shot. He has an assist as well. Rotates the ball to the right. He flashes through. Back outside to Delvin Go. Volkov now. Alexander trying to get free and does. He's got a mismatch against Lish. Let's see. Overcomes Brock to help out. Shot clock down to 4. Volkov for a long hanger is way off the mark. So great interior defense there by Singapore. And Delvin Go steps in the lane to get it back. He's going to take it to the house by himself. Oh, yeah. 29-21 Singapore by 8.
That pumps up the house there. Delvin Go, great hands, picking off the fast break and then taking it strong to the rack.
And watch Wright. Wright says, no, my man, you made the play happen. You take it yourself, and he steps away. Weak side help a little bit. Too late getting there. So unselfish play there by Wright. Says, no, take it to the house, my man, and he does.
That just shows you the improvement in Delvin Go's game. Now being able to take the ball up the floor and then finish strong emphatically against Evan Brock.
He misses the free throw shot. He was victimized at the beginning of the game. We saw a couple times by Williams on the low block, but he's more than made up for it since. Lish now with the ball, and a little bit of urgency now in the step of Indonesia. Inside the ball, little hesitation move. Nice job by Lish to get away from his defender and work behind the screen.
One of the few times he's been able to get that deep in the paint.
Mandani backs it up again, rotates the ball to the right side. Alexander looking for movement around the screen of Wright. He'll roll off the bat. Long shot is off the mark, and oh my goodness, off the hands of Mura Wisnu. So check that. Off of Mario Wusang.
Lucky break there for the Slingers, because that was a clear miss there on the part of Alexander.
A little bit outside of his range. Sometimes he'll do that. Now Wright back downstairs, post up inside, knocked away. On the move now. They'd be wise to hold it up, and they do. Lish with the catch and shoot from 3.
Unexpected transition 3 there from Freddie Lish, but big short run here from the CLS Knights.
Well, you can see that coming. Lish all tanked up. Watch this again. Rotating to the left side, no doubt about it. So first triple for Lish. Singapore up by 3 at the timeout. And, you know, this is how quick a game like this can turn around. Every time Singapore looks like they might be on the verge of breaking it open a little bit. 8-point lead a couple of times. Back come Indonesia, and this time from the perimeter. That's got to be good news. 5
straight points here just from Freddie Lish alone, and he was pretty much stifled in that first quarter because he was being attacked inside the paint by Xavier Alexander. But because they threw the double team, forced Alexander out to kick it out. A little easier job on defense from Freddie Lish, giving him more chances to score on the offensive end.
Singapore a little bit lazy or nonchalant on the offensive end, I thought. Marco, a couple of shots from outside from guys that really, that is not their strength, especially I'm thinking about Alexander. Take a little bit more time off the clock, do what has worked for you, slash and burn inside the lane, get the ball to right, work in tandem with them, and then kick the ball out and let your other guys get those outside shots.
CLS knows that. That is what the shot that they are giving them. You see that they are just hanging back. Once it's Delvin Go or Russell Lowe or even Xavier Alexander taking that jump shot from the outside.
So 29-26 is a good look at the Singapore Slingers. Delvin Go redeemed himself. The shaky first part of the game defensively, but he has come back with a vengeance, and 4 points with 1 foul. Russell Lowe also 4 points, so that's 8 points for both bigs. Remember, a big void downstairs with the loss of Howard last year, who's now plying his trade in China with one of the expansion teams. Alexander now up pops Wright. He'll roll off the screen. Alexander stop and pop way off the mark. Then Williams there to clean it up. So 1 and out for Singapore.
Alexander asking for that slight nudge there by Mario Wusang.
So opportunity now for Lish and Indonesia to draw level. Back outside, Coach Neil barking signals. Rotation and stepping in the lane and picking it off is Delvin Go again, 4-on-3. Volkov back outside. Alexander having to reach behind his shoulders. Good rotation. Volkov again in the lane. Maldani did a good job of not being in a hurry that time, and they charged that time. Easy call there for the officials. You can see Wright just lower the boom.
Yeah, and try to use his forearm to create space there against Evan Brock, who had good inside position.
Check it out again. Wright will get the ball and trying to take advantage of the defender who had just set himself and can't do that. So back the other way it goes. A little bit shaky second quarter for Wright, who has 4 points and 2 fouls.
How about Delvin Go playing that passing lane perfectly?
His second pickoff of the evening. So Lish again, he's had the hot hand lately for the Knights. Goes to the right hand, loses Volkov, almost loses the ball in the process. Go, gonna have to get back home in a hurry. Stop and pop for Brock for 2.
And that's what you were saying, Chuck. He has to get back to his man quickly because that mid-range jumper is within Brock's range.
Maldani to Go. Go with the left hand now. Out pops Alexander. Maldani with the rotation on the left. It's the lane. Fourth shot is no good. In Singapore, their turn to be cold. Back come the Knights on the run is Wright. He gives the ball to the left-hand side. Sandy does it.
And that is where Sandy Cunyawan is at his best. Transition three-point shot, second three-pointer of the game.
So they couldn't hit one the first quarter. They've hit 2 in a row now. 2-point lead by the Knights. Well, Donnie thought about it. Inside the lane, kick back outside. Volkov. Delvin, 2 if it goes. It does not. Volkov stepping in and trying to disrupt. He can't. So the Knights with the ball in the momentum now.
Yep, and one thing the Knights have done well here in the second quarter is they've limited the offensive rebounds of Singapore.
Another look at it from the other side. The kick to Sandy, who pounds it in from Threesville.
There you see the familiarity of the Knights. Williams knew where Sandy was going to be at.
Lish looking for a screen. Out pops Waisong. Inside again to Brock. Tough angle. Oh, the follow is good. Oh, Brock skying with the left hand.
The athleticism there of Evan Brock.
Alexander turns and fires. Can't get it to go. Can't pull down his own board. And here comes Williams and Brock getting the hand up. Who else? Delvin Go, but it will be Indonesian ball. They've got the 4-point lead as we wind it down to the 2-minute mark. Getting his hand in there to disrupt.
And good job there on the part of Ang Han Bin to try to disrupt almost easy 2 points there on the break for CLS.
So Singapore, who led by 8 a moment ago, now down by 4. A 12-0 mini run here by the CLS Knights. Brock picks it off the floor, lowers his head, rotates inside. Lish now working on Alexander. The backup jumper is no good. Go with the rebound. Mandani. Still Mandani. Long pass inside right into the path of who fires up a 3. Can't get it to fall. So 1 and out once again. Outlet pass. Sandy lines it up from 3. He's going to be off the mark. And a little bit too nonchalant with it that time was AJ. Long 3 off the mark. And what do we have here?
That's gonna, it looks like there'll be a foul on Mandani. Frustration foul there on the part of Mandani.
So that will be 2 on him. So that will bring the ball back down the court again with 1:20 to go here in the second quarter. And the brain trust of Indonesia have to be happy right now, Marco. I mean, everything that they've been doing, it's the key, the perimeter shooting. They finally started hitting their shots.
And they've been able to run the past few possessions, especially in transition. Even if they've not been able to convert, they've sped up the game a lot more compared to that first quarter.
So you're looking at Sandy Kernaiman at the line. 6'3", 150 pounds, a string bean of a player. Had 9 points last week in that win, their first win ever against Formosa. So 1 of 2 there, 34-29, a timeout by, well, no, let's see, substitution instead. for Singapore. Larry Liu checking back into the game, number 11. Checking into the game, number 8. That is Anak Wisnu.
Yep.
Murra Wisnu, 5'11" guard. Inside to Wright. Wright has been the invisible man lately. Let's see if he can do something here. Kick back outside. Delve and go. Liu now, left-hand dribble. Go. Trying to go baseline and a foul there, and that will go on number 24, Mohamed Saroni.
And you notice that the CLS Knights have dropped to a bit of a zone here and forcing Singapore to really beat them from the outside, something that the China team, Chongson Kung Fu, did to them in their last outing.
Singapore, of course, had the hot hand early on. They have not been so hot lately. They have been stuck on 29 for a long time. Now, he has 1 3 to his credit. Alexander now downstairs for Russell Lowe. He's checking the game in a hard push, but no foul. So 1 and out again for Singapore. Fans starting to get a little bit restive here at the OCBC Arena. Good crowd on hand for the first home game for the Slingers. Williams, low, overcomes Alexander inside, knocked away. Good play by Delvin Go again, reaching in the passing lane, but the ball last touched by Hu. Going to be a foul on number 27.
Got to be careful with that, the backdoor cut from the weak side. Singapore escaped, dodging a bullet there.
Down the other way it goes. So Wright, who had 26 in the game last week, 4. Alexander leading all scorers with 10 points, at least on the Singapore side. Williams leading all scorers with 11. Good shot of Russell Lowe here at the line for his 4th time.
Has made 2 free throws so far, so he's 2 out of 6 from the stripe.
So a couple free throws here, a stop, and hopefully Singapore, if you're a Singapore fan, hope to get the ball back and get it at least at level terms. A lot of time left, 37.6 here. Coach Neo. And a crowd of about 2,500 here looking on. Gets them both.
I think he get a stop here. Chuck's ball is going to go back to Singapore to have the last say here in the first half.
Mario inside, rotation to the left. Sandy again lines up a 3, no good. Right with the board, outlet into the hands of Alexander momentarily. Right swings it over to Arms from 3, yeah! No, off the mark, excuse me. So the Knights a chance to get last shot and an offensive foul. Nice job by Alexander to get back, plant his foot on the baseline, boom.
Getting it squarely there in the midsection. That's a clear offensive foul there.
Watch Alexander from the weak side. Similar to what Williams did a little bit earlier, if you remember.
So a chance for Singapore here to have to close the first half on a positive note, possibly even tie the game at 34.
So they led by 2 times, in fact, by as many as 8 points, not able to maintain that each time. Indonesia coming back once, doing it via getting the ball to their big men to rotate the ball inside, but the second time, no surprise, finally hitting some of their outside shots, led by Lish for a period. Alexander, the backup jumper, is going to be off the mark. The tip is no good. 1 second to go, and that will do it. So the Knights hold on. They will take a 34-31 lead into the dressing room here at the OCBC Center. That'll do it first half action. We'll be back for second half action in a little bit.
Zoom over it first. Okay, 1 minute to shoot, all right? All right, 3, 2, 1, go! Start shooting. Starting with a blue spot there. 1 minute, 1 minute. You have 1 minute to make as many baskets as you can. From either the blue spot or the red spot here. There you go. You gotta move closer. Oh, he wants to shoot at the blue spot. It's not doing it. Okay, you gotta move to top of the red. Okay, if you get a shot made from the red spot, you get 1 hour free from the shoot zone. 27 steps. That's one basket, here we go. There we go. That's 1 hour for shot zone. 7 seconds left. Go, stop time. One last shot. And that's time. Congratulations again, 1 hour from shot zone. Our first participant, go from red. All right, our second participant. Kenya, ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Almost. Okay, move closer. To the red spot, off the basket, there you go. 1 hour from shot zone for you. Moves up to the blue spot. You need to make a basket there, and now one more.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, the Lion City of Singapore on a lovely Sunday afternoon, and pretty cloudy weather here. If you're a Slingers fan, down by 3 points. It could have been a lot worse. The Slingers trail at the end of halftime, 34-31, as we look at our usual highlight package here at the OCBC Arena. The CLS Knights and the Singapore Slingers started well for the Knights, rotating to the basket. Nice inside move. Quick 2-0 lead. Goldstein on the baseline. The X-Man finding right underneath, staying with the play, getting behind the defense. 2 of his 4 points that he would end up with in the first half. Good ball rotation by the Slingers. Ball in the hands now of Alexander. Bounce pass inside. Oh yes, Russell Lowe downstairs puts the ball on the floor once and then up off the glass for 2 of his 4 points. Singapore taking the ball away that time. Alexander, long pass on the right-hand side. Little catch and shoot if you're not going to come out on me. On Han Bin with 3 points. Singapore in control at the moment, has the ball down on the low block. Russell Lowe, the little sky, inside, kick back outside to Larry Liu. Gratefully accepts that and up with the 3. So at this point, Singapore up by 6 points, and a timeout being called by Indonesia inside. Ball picked off. Rotation to that right side. Sandy with the long 3, and finally getting Hager at the CLS Knights. Misfired 5 straight times from beyond the arc, getting things pumped up a little bit. Inside again, off the mark. Singapore does a good job on the interior, converging on the ball. Alexander rolling to the basket. Little knifing run by him, finding the space in between 2 defenders. Delvin Go, his second pick of the night. Inside, takes the ball through the house. Marshaled on by Wright. Singapore up by 7 at this point. Now then, as is his habit, Freddie Lish hitting a 3, his first 3, and off the break again, Indonesia on a little 12-0 mini run. Sandy lining up another 3. So Indonesia up by 3 at the end of the first half. Another play, Brock over in the corner. Ball is off the mark. The follow by Brock. So 3-point game at the end of the halftime in favor of the CLS Knights. So Marco, Singapore at first doing everything they can do, hitting their shot from outside. And we said right at the beginning, you know, they're 0-5. This can't go on forever. The Knights are a much better shooting team than this. And then finally striking pay dirt Freddie Lish was out amazing there for about a 3-minute period.
That is correct, Chuck. And you know, once Indonesia was able to get the pace that they wanted, able to force some turnovers, get easy baskets in transition, especially those back-to-back three-point shots from Sandy Pinal, you saw that they got the rhythm to their game, and they were able to overcome that deficit in that first half.
Now, you made the comment that Indonesia went back into a zone that did have a good effect on Singapore. Singapore knocking down shots at that point, but when they were forced a little bit further away from the basket, the shots began not to fall for them.
And you can expect Indonesia to stick to that zone because they saw that it's been working for them here in that first half, and it's going to be upon Singapore to really try to connect from the outside and force them out of it.
Okay, we've got a little package together for the X-Man, Xavier Alexander, in his years with the Singapore Slingers. Enjoy.
The whole reason behind me playing basketball, it just started early. My dad, my older brothers, they all played basketball and were successful, and I just kind of followed suit and fell in love with it early. They taught me a lot of things at an early age that they were learning at the college level and as I got into high school, the professional level. So it always kept me a step ahead. I always played with a lot of older guys when I was younger. You know, the high school and college level, I always played with professionals and stuff of that matter. So that's where I wanted to be. So those are the people that I competed against. For one, I love it here. I love the way that people treat me. Over here, it's kind of, you know, they expect more from you on the team and expect more from you as a leader. Being in my third season, those guys are like my brothers. You know, I've been to war so many times with them on the court that now it's second nature to us. They know what I expect from them, and I know what they expect from me, and we go about it as such.
X has been here for 3 years now, so we are really used to him. We play well with each other. We know his tendencies, so it's a good continuation.
He's a great leader of the team, and I think the team has experienced a lot of success because of him. Given his skill set and his personality, he's not selfish in the team, and he makes everyone look better as well.
We bring that American, U.S. style of basketball. They need to adjust, and the pace is different. The game might be faster for us to be there. I think it elevates their game immediately. It's been 2 great runs. Looking to have another third run. We want to win, you know, that for not only ourselves, but for, you know, Singapore as a whole.
Marco Benitez, Chuck Schwarn, and Marco, it's hard to quantify what the X-Man Xavier Alexander has meant to the Slingers the last 3 years. What have been your observations through the years?
He's pretty much been the most versatile player on this squad right now this season. Without Justin Howard, he's really going to have a more critical role, not only as a scorer but also as a leader. And he's really, without his former running mate, he's really going to have to dictate to where the Singapore Slingers squad is going to go.
Now, going forward, as you said, without Justin Howard, he has to be so eclectic in the areas that he serves, outside, inside, mid-range, and do you think that might at times be a little bit too much for him?
Well, I think Xavier Alexander, the past couple of games, has been aggressive enough and shown confidence that he can step up to that type of role. And it's just a matter of making his baskets and being more consistent with that and really getting to the flow of the offense.
34-31 in favor of the Knights at halftime. We'll be back in just a moment for third quarter action here at the OCBC Arena. Come right back. Lion City of Singapore, site of the game that we're showing you today. The CLS Knights with a slim 34-31 lead over the Singapore Slingers. Marco Benitez and Chuck Schreiner in that first half. Marco, 7 turnovers for Indonesia, 4 for Singapore. Shooting percentage sort of got turned on his edge as we look at X-Man right there. We did a feature on him. 39% and change for the Knights, 33 1/3% for Singapore. They started to warm it up, the Knights did, from beyond the arc. 3 of 11, still not great, but 27.3, playing 1.6 and 16.7. And you were saying, Marco, during the break, that Singapore needs to find that consistency from outside the perimeter.
That is correct, and you see from the stats, they've only taken 6 attempts, knowing that that's not their strength, only connected on 1. Meanwhile, for the CLS Knights, they've gotten their running game going. We started out the second quarter, no fast break points for Indonesia in that second quarter alone, 11 fast break points for the guys in purple and gray, or purple and gold, and that has been their game so far this season, and look for them to try to exploit that here against Singapore.
Okay, Singapore inbound from the near side. Larry Liu sticking in the game is AJ Mondani. He had his moments in the first half. We'll see if he can shake off a little bit of rust and lead this Singapore team here in a packed house here at the OCBC Arena. First home game of the year for the Slingers of 2017-18 ABL season. So happy you could join us and sit back and enjoy the second half of basketball here. X-Man going at you. Singapore in white. Rotates the ball down to Mondani. Mondani goes to the right hand, gets away from one screen, holds it back up. Russell Lowe in the game. He'll take that shot. It'll be off the mark. Skying up to try and get the rebound is right. Can't get it. 1 and out. Brock, the left-handed throw. Sloppy pass by him. Mondani, the little runner in the lane, no good. X-Man right there to clean it up for 2.
Good job there on the part of Xavier Alexander, not giving up on the play, but credit half that basket to Larry Liu for intercepting that pass.
Evan Brock with a very sloppy pass, trying to get over the top of the defenders, not near enough. Williams loses the ball, stepping in the lane to get it. Pass was behind the offensive player, and another turnover there, this time by Singapore. Picking it off is Woisong, and inside hesitation move is good for Lish.
Another quick basket in transition. That is the Freddie Lish specialty.
So back up to a 3-point lead. Russell Lowe controlling the ball at the top. Alexander, high block. He will bust out. Mondani, right for 2. No, yes, he's got the shooter's roll there. Enough top spin to carry it forward. Up and in it goes. So 6 points now for Wright. He had 26 last week against China. So 1-point game.
That is really more of Wright's game than the 15-foot jumper. Let's see if they try to exploit that.
Double team, and somebody's got to be open. Let's see the kickoff to the left-hand side. The left-hander fires it up, no good. In the lane, fortuitous bounce there. Lish inside, blocked away, get it out of here, says Russell Lowe.
Solid minutes so far for Russell Lowe, getting those offensive rebounds. That time the block, and also scoring from the free throw line.
Watch it again. Nice job by Lowe, reaching over the top. And somehow getting away, shedding the defender, has brought that long first step.
Something Russell Lowe has not found the answer to, that matchup against Evan Brock.
Alexander. Liu will rotate through. Alexander with the left hand inside the lane. Oh yes, a little runner floater.
Alexander showing us a different look, this time attacking from the outside. Probably the most athletic of all the world imports on the floor tonight.
And Brock goes at it again. So that's not the shot you want him taking. And you can tell by the blinking reaction there of Coach Coco, he agrees. So 1-point lead here by the Knights. He said they led by 3. Low to Liu. Liu with the right hand. Alexander camped out on the low post there, is tripped up as he goes inside. Freddie Lish will get the foul. For Lish, that will be 3 on him, if it is in fact on him.
That's a good job there on the part of Xavier Alexander. Instead of pulling the dribble out of the double team, instead one dribble pullback and then attacking that double team from Brock.
That was on Brock, and the shot is good. So 1-point lead now by the Slingers. Back to work go the Knights. Off the dribble, Lish with the ball, has separation. Double team comes up. Now Alexander is with him. Inside Williams, bounce pass, almost throws it away. In fact, steps on the line, so turnover there. Sloppy play coming off of the half by the CLS Knights. That's twice they've turned it over.
And you can see Brian Williams not really in his comfort zone, playing outside that shaded area. So good tactic employed by the Slingers.
9 turnovers now for the Knights. 4 for the Slingers, 5 actually. They've got a turnover too. Liu looking downstairs. Lish, he's got the mismatch. Alexander does. He kicks it back out. Around the horn it goes. Left side. Back outside right from the free throw line. Back up jumper. No good. Oh, my goodness. Giving up the inside. And Alexander just couldn't believe it. I think that was part up. The foul will go on Williams.
Foul number 1, Freddie Leash.
Leash, in fact, that will be 3 on Leash. So danger time a little bit for the CLS Knights. They can hardly afford to lose their floor leader. So Alexander will be at the line for a pair.
That's good development here for the Singapore Slingers. Let's see if they try to continue to attack Freddie Lish on the post, especially against Alexander.
So meanwhile, Wright having his problems from the perimeter. He's got 8 points, but 4 of those from the line. Very pensive looking Coach Neo is the X-Man. Enjoying his 3rd year here in Singapore. 0 for 1 and not enjoying himself at the free throw line today at all. He has not been able to get anything going. In fact, both of these teams at the end of the half, Slingers were shooting a paltry 37.5%, Marco, from the line, and Indonesia not much better, 45.5.
And that's really not going to cut it out here if you're Singapore, especially as we go through the long season, especially as you play the tougher teams.
We know it's all about consistency. 20-game schedule. Singapore wants to control their home. Mismatch inside. Let's see what they can do with it. Turns, fires, got it. No, not that goaltending. That will be on the X-Man. So Wright against Williams. Williams taking advantage. Little sky hook.
And immediately when you saw that Williams got that post position, more effective down low.
Wright is 6'9", but he doesn't play like 6'9", and that's not a knock on him. That's just not his game. Kick back outside. Russell Lowe, wide open look, fires. Yes, for 2.
And that's going to keep Brian Williams more honest on defense and hopefully open up that post-up spot for Xavier Alexander.
So 2-point lead. Head down, going from A to B is Mario. Mario, long 3 from outside, no good. Offensive board, knocked away. Good active hands there by Alexander, putting his paws in the lane.
There's going to be 13 seconds left on the shot clock here for the CLS Knights.
So inbounded from the baseline. Long pass back outside. Running it down is Brock. Evans now, and immediately being converged on by Larry Liu. So good hands in there. It'll still be Indonesia ball. 6 seconds now. Inbounding it will be Woisong. Williams, right, turns, fires off balance looking shot, stepping in the lane. Nice rebound there, AJ Mondani.
And that's a shot you can live with if you're Ryan Wright.
Mondani started to accelerate, holds it up, gets the ball into the hands of Alexander. He'll bring it back outside, get the ball in the hands of Russell Lowe. Liu at the top. Flashing through is Alexander, getting sorry for Wright. Well, that's what Wright can do. That is his game in a nutshell.
And that is because Xavier Alexander drawing the double team in the post.
Backup jumper by Brock is good. So answering very quickly from outside, right around the free throw area.
You're going to have to do a better job being more consistent on the defensive end in transition as well.
Low, he'll take that shot if you give it to him and drains it.
And the bigs of Indonesia continuing to give Russell Lowe that 15-footer.
So 10 now, he's in double figures. Brock again, he's on low, goes to the right hand, nowhere to go, back to Williams. Sandy in traffic, holds it up, Williams, still Williams, quick pass inside, nice job getting around the defense. And a little bit of ball watching there by Singapore. They pay the price, great job by Brock to find Williams behind the defense.
That's a great high-low play there coming from Indonesia. And cannot give up that possession. Like you said, ball watching there from Singapore.
Well, Wright really the villain that time, not falling back on his man, and really Alexander coming over from the weak side, but he's got 3 fouls now. Timeout on the floor by Singapore, 46-44. We've got a good one here at OCBC Arena. As Coach Coco wants to talk it over. And Singapore's timeout, I believe, so It would be a 1-minute timeout. So, Coach Coco, what would he be saying in the huddle right now, Marco?
But I think they're going to have to do a better job defending Xavier Alexander. You see Singapore getting easy baskets once Alexander is on the post. Let's see if they try to change or give a different look on that double team, whether they send it early or hang it back a little more. But for Singapore, you're going to have to be more consistent, especially for an entire possession until you get the defensive rebound.
Meanwhile, Russell Lowe open all the time. They're going to have to decide, Indonesia, if they're going to put a man out there on him or not.
Well, so far, Russell Lowe has made them pay, giving the Slingers a 46-44 advantage here in the third quarter.
Williams leading the way for Indonesia with 13 points. Or check that, Brock with 14, Williams with 13. We would have expected that. What we wouldn't expect on the other side of the ball, Russell Lowe, 10 points, Wright with 10, Alexander with 15. So getting a whole lot of contributions from three guys. They're going to have to divvy up the scoring a little bit more, especially from the perimeter. Singapore is going to hang with a very, very tough Knights team who have a plethora of weapons, especially on the inside. So we'll see how it goes here in the second half. Third quarter action here. Marco Benitez, Chuck Schreiner, ABL. Inaugural game for the Singapore Singers. Great looking crowd on hand here at the OCBC Arena. Singapore at 0-1. The Knights at 1-0 with their defeat of Formosa on the 18th of November. Slingers going down to defeat big time 83-59 to China. And that was on the 17th of November.
And Chuck, as you talked about on the tournament format, since these two teams are in the same group, this is going to be the first of 4 meetings between Singapore and Indonesia.
So there's not going to be much mystery between these two by the time they play each other 4 times. Liu. Singapore having to set up very high on their offense inside. Oh, finding Low again, this time from the left side, off the mark. Skying and getting the rebound. Long wingspan is Brock again. Hesitation dribble. Still Brock. Goes to the right hand, drops it. Ball kicked away. And out of bounds it goes. Liu had it momentarily, took his eyes off of it. Brave try there by AJ to try and save it, to no avail. So Knights will have it on the far sidelines. There's Brock again. Watch this. And the problem was when he went to his right hand. So there's the ball on the floor. So the Knights with 15 left on the shot clock. Williams likes that matchup against Wright, bumping and grinding. Inside look, and last touch by Alexander, closing down the lines. And smart play there by Lish to try and sneak in back door.
That is correct. But, you know, for Ryan Wright, as long as he can keep Brian Williams outside 10 feet from the basket, probably 50% of the battle right there.
Inside, he misses the easy shot, stepping in the lane. Ball pumped over to Russell Lowe. He'll come up with it. Lead pass, Singapore. Liu now has to give the ball up and had the shot changed. Leash going to the house to finish.
And you cannot afford to make those unforced turnovers against a running team like CLS.
You can see Liu was in 2 minds whether to pass the ball and shoot the ball. And as a result, he did none of the above. So Liu on the baseline will circle around. Alexander, tie game at 46 inside the lane and throwing the ball away again. So 2 straight turnovers for the Slingers. Alexander miscommunication with Lowe. He was expecting Russell to cut towards the basket, not away from it.
And that's correct. And as Alexander was trying to get to work, Russell Lowe in his way.
Tried to get the ball back to Lish, but X-Man was right there. Double team, somebody's got to be open. Turns, fires off balance shot, way off the mark, and stepping in the lane is Williams. Williams, one-hand push shot is off the mark. Nice hustle underneath by Indonesia, but it will be Singapore ball.
Brian Williams asking for the foul, but referee's not giving that to him. So good stop here for Singapore. Try to get back that lead.
Great interior defense there by the men in white. So checking out of the game, AJ Mondani. Checking in the game, Russell Go also going out of the game. Russell Lowe, excuse me, leaves. Delvin Go checks in. So the rotation cat and mouse game continuing with both these coaches trying to get some fresh legs in here. A long way to go here. 3:22 to go here in the third quarter in a 46-46 game, and a game that is coming off as advertised. Down low was the X-Man. Thought he had a step. Liu there to sweep it up. Delvin Go on step up jumper. Off the mark, stepping in and getting it is Williams. And Slowly but surely, Marco, Indonesia starting to assert themselves on the boards.
And you
Off
can't
balance.
Singapore has had those open looks.
And there, another example of it right there, down low. Williams, there's just nobody with enough beef to do that, but they can do that. Right, getting ahead of the defenders. Pass over the top.
There's one thing Wright is good at, it's running the floor in transition.
Williams getting the ball off to Wisnu, who has checked into the game for the Knights. Brock gives it off to Williams and up and down. And what is that? Do we have a foul on who? If it's Alexander, that's 4 on him. There'll be 3 on him. So 48 apiece.
Looks like they gave the foul to Delvin Go, and Brian Williams, the moment he saw he had Delvin Go on him, immediately going to work in the post.
Yeah, that's what he did so well at the beginning of the game. We remember back in the first quarter, victimizing Go 3 or 4 separate times and coming in with 6 easy points to start the game off.
Well, in Indonesia arguing here because they thought it was an act of shooting, but the referees was going to make it a baseline inbound.
Coach Coco progressively getting more animated as the game goes on. So checking it in will be Mario Wusong. Lish on the bench now at the moment. Baseline, nowhere to go. Alexander active with the hands. Brock inside. No foul. Outlet pass. Liu. Alexander in the lane for the finish.
And you see 2 world imports of Singapore running downhill. No world imports of CLS getting back on defense.
Well, that's what the coaching staff drew up when they got right. This is the strength of their game, especially with the X-Man. This is exactly the reason they brought him back for a 3rd year. As you mentioned, perhaps, I'm not saying we haven't seen all these, but perhaps the most athletic player in the league in terms of the open court.
And there's very little Mario Wusong can do against a running Xavier Alexander.
So 2-point lead. Long lead pass in the lane. They'll have to back it up again. Wait for numbers. Williams rotating down on the low block. They'll try and get him the ball. Alexander on the opposite side. Let's see if he comes over for the weak side help. Back outside. Now the hands of Brock. Brock back up jumper. Good. That'll tie to 50. Brock getting very, very good at that shot there. The little 16-footer.
And understandably, that's the shot Delvin Go is giving him rather than that penetration.
Go to Ung, who has checked into the game. A crowd downstairs. Out pops Liu. Now Wright looking for movement. Wright will take it home himself. Off balance shot. Won't get the roll. Back in the hands. Wright is fouled. And that will go on Williams, I believe.
I thought that was a forced shot there on the part of Ryan Wright, but Xavier Alexander keeping that ball alive.
There is Wright. Yes, it was off balance. And really heard the footsteps of Williams, and that sort of changed his shot. So Wright will go to the line. That will stop the clock. 50-50 here. 1:25 to go here in the 3rd quarter. So 3 fouls on Williams, and the travails of the free throw shooting for both these teams continue.
Ryan Wright has yet to make a free throw. 0 out of 4 so far.
You lose a point, a game by a point or 2, and you know exactly where to point your fingers. So 1 of 5 now is Singapore with a sliver of a lead. Back comes Mario Wusong, barking signals. He's got Williams rotating down to the low post. Go, back up jumper again. Rock all day long.
And let's see if Delvin Go starts making an adjustment. That's the 2nd time back-to-back that he's given Brock that open shot.
Shades of what Russell Lowe was doing a little bit earlier. They finally put a defender out on him. Ung now off the break, looking downstairs, holding on Xavier Alexander. So they keep rotating players, Marco, on to Alexander. That time, Caleb Gimelong. He really hasn't made an impact tonight, but boy, was he sensational against Formosa.
That is correct. 14 points off the bench for Gimelong, but he has faced the challenge of trying to guard Xavier Alexander. And you're right, Chuck, they've thrown many faces against Alexander, and he's really made them pay.
So the question is, down the stretch, who's going to make the free throws if this is going to be the way they play? Alexander, no doubt, will have his chances. Hits the first of 2, so that will tie it up. Biggest lead of the game, 8 by Singapore on 2 separate occasions. The Knights have led by as many as 5.
Alexander 3 out of 6 from the free throw stripe so far.
And 1 of 2, so it continues. Brock down that right-hand side, switching to the left hand, accelerates inside the lane, foul and 1, count it.
And there you see Delvin go really with no chance against Evan Brock going downhill.
We see Delvin go all the time. Now, he is a very, very much improved player, no doubt about that. But you watch defensively how he's back on his heels time and time again, and that time just the blow-by that time by Brock. And you wouldn't expect a guy with the size of Brock to be able to do that to anybody, but there you go. Delvin Go is the exception in the league where he can do things like that to him. So 55-52, the Knights by 3. Looking downstairs again to Alexander. He has been the danger man tonight for the Slingers. Lurking around is Brock. And nice move that time by Delvin Go. The tip back in by Ryan. I'm not so sure it needed it. But 55-54.
Good recognition there on the part of Xavier Alexander. The man of Delvin Go was the one helping out against Alexander.
So one of these plays that won't show up in the scorebook, but really that was created by the X-Man. Kick back outside again. Long 3 is good. Caleb Gamelon coming and giving something to the party. 3 seconds to go, and out of bounds it goes. It'll be controlled by Singapore. 1.4, so catch and shoot opportunity for the Slingers to end it here in the 3rd quarter. Nice, led by 3. They've stretched it 1 point further. And what a 4th quarter we're going to have here from the OCBC Arena. Alexander to inbound from the baseline. See if they can get a shot off. Gamelong will guard the inbounds, looking for Wright. High inbounds pass, push shot and good! Oh my goodness! 58-56. As you say, Marco, just what the doctor ordered. The Slingers at the stroke of midnight get the 2 back. They trail by 2.
Alexander and Ryan Wright making something out of almost nothing there. Almost a 5-second violation on the inbounds, but what a shot there from Ryan Wright.
Okay, that'll wrap it out here. The time is gone in the 3rd quarter. What a 4th quarter we have in store for the OCBC Arena. The Knights by 2 when we return for 4th quarter action.
Okay, check out. First shot at the half court line. You know what to do? If you make this shot, you win the bottle of premium pen wine worth $688. Go, my friend, hit the shot. Go, way short. You have 2 chances left. 3-point line. If you make this basket, you will win 3 bottles of pen wine, a cake, and a cheddar, a humble worth of $201. It's a big start. Okay, one shot down on the free throw line. Time to win 2 bottles of red wine and a certain wine and a certain red worth $91. Go, my friend. Take a shot. Oh, that's short. Nonetheless, if it's all 3 shots, but we still win 2 bottles of red wine. Let's give a big round of applause to Jack Howe.
So right off of the prompting, let's say, by Xavier Alexander. Again, Marco, another one of these plays, as you said, almost a 5-second violation, getting the ball into the hands of the man that they needed to, and Wright doing the rest, an athletic move up in the air, but my goodness, Xavier supplying the ball right where it needed to be.
Well, remember, Wright had only on 4 points in that first half, now already with 15 points, so that's about 11 points in that 3rd quarter. So continuing to prove his worth here for Coach Neo Beng Shan.
Other side of the ball, number 2, Evan Brock, getting it done for the guys in blue. 21 points for him. He's got 3 fouls. That'll be worth watching. Also, Gamelon in limited time with 3 fouls. Also, Lish with 3 fouls. So he is in the game now. So 3rd quarter, turnovers 10 for the Knights, 7 for the Slingers. So Slingers doing a better job of taking care of the ball, and Wright ripping down a board to start off here. Alexander pushing it. And he's got Mondani to the right. Oh, yes, and that's exactly what they needed to do.
That's a great shot there on the part of Mondani. Great job there by Alexander, finding him in transition, in rhythm.
Mondani, the veteran, bearing his 2nd J of the night. Pass downstairs to Williams. Gets to the baseline in time. Now looking for help. Brock off the dribble. silly looking shot that time by Brock. He didn't need to do that. And back comes Mondani and company, getting the ball in the hands of Liu. Liu thought about downstairs to Alexander. Alexander double clutch in the air. Yeah, cleared by a pair.
Good find there from Larry Liu. Miscommunication on defense from the CLS Knights.
So right away, the 2-point lead turns a 4-point turnaround. Singapore, a little 4-0 mini run. Lish will accept the screen by Williams. Back in the hands of Williams. Right hand. Flooding the lane. The ball on the floor. Picked up by who else? Mondani. Lead pass. Will stop and fire for two.
And immediately you see the confidence of Han Bin shooting that jump shot in transition.
So copying the ball up inside the paint. Active hands inside the passing lanes for the Singapore Slingers, resulting in 6 points. There's a confident stroke right there. 4-point lead for Singapore. Another look at it. Mondani, nice little pass across his body.
So Mondani can continue to do that, orchestrate in the break. Quick 6-0 last year from Singapore to start the fourth.
Well, when you get a guy like Mondani, who obviously has been tried and tested in the open court, you can see exactly why they got him for situations just like that. What we don't know about Mondani, how can he do in the half-court offense? You see how good, that was a great pass across his body right there. So no doubt of the job that he can do in the open court. Can he run the team in the half court? That's what we don't know.
For Mondani, he's not really expected to score a lot. As long as he can consistently hit those kick-out passes, make those jump shots off the kick-out from Xavier Alexander, and I think he's going to be okay for the Singapore Slingers.
Helping a lot those first almost 2 minutes, getting a bucket and an assist. So very active as we look at Gemalon there, number 13, and who also hit a big bucket there. So Singapore 62, the Knights 58. Lish working against Mondani now. Blows past him. High off the glass, yes.
13 points in the ball game for Freddie Lish. Just 3 players in double figures for the Knights.
So beating his man off the dribble that time. Alexander to right. Rotates the ball to Liu. Alexander back to the low post. Was just off the low post. Inside Mondani. A little bit too rushed on that shot. He had a little bit more time. He had his defender on the interior wrong-footed already, but he'd already committed himself to the shot and way off the mark. So turnover there. Lish again, left hand, feeds the ball to who else? Brock. Brock goes to the left hand, way off balance shot. Nice defense there by Alexander.
Exactly correct. Good job challenging that shot.
Quick rotation. Liu on the right side, in and out it goes. Ball on the floor. Let's see who comes up with it. Alternating possessions. Let's see which way it will go. Indonesia maybe. Well, let's see. Or was that a foul? Watch it again. A scrum on the floor for the ball. There's the initial shot. Liu unlucky with that. Nice hustle by on the floor. He seems to have possession now. They're reaching. You could make a case for a foul on Brock. I don't think it's going to go that way.
That's great effort there on the part of buying them a second chance opportunity.
So Singapore on the alternating possessions will have the ball on the baseline. Alexander to inbound it. Catch and shoot by Liu. Off the mark. So a couple of times he was victimized by a tight rim.
Tough misses there for Liu.
Had a lid on it. Brock, left hand, caught the ball up, punched away by who else? Alexander from behind, down the court. Liu almost walked with the ball. Kick back outside. Mondani for 3, no good. Skying up, right, no good. Into the hands of Liu, no good. Liu with the own rebound. He'll kick it back outside again. Mondani inside back door.
And that is the role Mondani needs to play. Settle his offense, find his open cutter. That time, Xavier Alexander, backdoor cut for the easy jam.
Well, we were asking questions of Mondani. We know his talent in the open court. Can he do it in the half-court set? He answered some questions right there. Skip past right through the middle. And Indonesian defense got caught ball watching, got sucked up into the action, and easy as you please, the X-Man going back door.
Momentum so far going the way this time of Singapore.
So full court pressure going to be applied. A modicum of full court pressure anyway. Singapore a habit of doing that. So checking it in will be Wusong.
And Chuck, one thing that Singapore has done well is they've limited the scoring of the locals of Indonesia.
Good point. Lish off the dribble, accepts the screen, now being doubled. Brock, Williams, Lish, Lane. Back outside again, Brock, oh, could have walked with it there. Williams now has a mismatch with Wright, kicks it back outside Wright. Pump fake, shot, short, stepping in the lane, Alexander now, left side. He has Wright ahead of him at the low post. And what do we have here? Offensive foul. So Alexander with his third foul.
Tough call there on the part of the referee. Looked like Freddie Lish was still moving his feet.
Get another look at it, I'm sure. Refereeing so far in this game has been pretty spot on. Let's watch it again. There's Alexander Lish. Well, a little bit of acting job that time. Call could have gone either way. So 3 fouls on the X-Man. 6:35. It's been a good one here at the OCBC Arena. Marco Benitez, Chuck Schreiner with you on the call. So happy you can spend part of your Sunday afternoon. Opening game for the 2017-18 season for the Slingers at home. Lost the game on the road. The Knights 1-0. Wusong off the dribble. Finds the screen. Williams didn't spot him. Off the dribble again. Spin move. Brock. That's his spot. This time they've rotated Alexander on him, however. Now standing around. Brock trying to be active and do something. The ball's on the floor. Picked up by Liu. Ball in the hands of Alexander. Another turnover. Other side, Mandani with the three! Off the mark. Followed by Wright is no good. Alexander chases it down. He's got a wide open look. That's a 2 that time. He will drain it. 66-60. Singapore by 6. 8-0 mini run by them to start the fourth quarter, under 6 minutes to go.
Alexander had the open 3, but made the right decision, going for the higher percentage shot that time.
Stutter step move inside, nothing on that low block, way off the mark that time, and a little bit of wariness, it looks like, in the steps. Alexander busting through 2 defenders, takes the ball to the house.
And again, nobody can stop Xavier Alexander in transition on the open floor.
In Indonesia, standing around on defense. Long 3 by Lish is good. Just what they needed, and that will stop the crowd from leaving their seats for a little bit. He has a habit of doing things like that.
That's a big shot, stopping the bleeding there for Indonesia.
Liu with the ball now, right on the high block. Rotates down. Alexander working on Brock. Long cross-court pass. Mondini finally gets the ball over to back-up jumper by Wright is good.
And Wright does not have to dominate the game. He just has to be consistent with those mid-range jumpers and those offensive rebounds.
Exactly. Play within himself. Full head of steam into the lane. Will be whistled that time. Trying to stop the dribble. Doing the right thing, but it'll cost him a foul. So let's check and see the Alexander baskets a little bit earlier on. The X-Man there, and look, nobody coming out on. He'll step up. Higher percentage shot, as Marco was saying, and buries that. Now down the other end, gets a step, the little blow by, and finishes with the 2. Alexander, 26, leads all scorers.
And he knows that he can beat the world imports of Indonesia off the dribble in transition. So far, I think this has tied the biggest lead of the Slingers at 7.
Well, one variable we haven't talked about, those bigs from Indonesia have been on the floor a long, long time.
Oh, yes. Practically the entire ball game, except for Brian Williams, who was in foul trouble in the first quarter.
Coach Coco knows there's plenty of time left. 6-point game for the Slingers. We've got a little bit of momentum now. Alexander, baseline, and a whistle waves it off. The foul will go. Well, wait, did he step on the baseline? No, they're pointing to the spot, so a foul on Williams. That will be 4 on him if that's right. So Williams, that's just a tire foul.
That's a big development here for Indonesia. 4th personal foul. Let's see if Singapore tries to take advantage.
Well, they go straight at Williams, in other words, to try and force that 5th foul. And Williams dragging visibly a little bit here. Mondani sure picked up his game in the 4th quarter. The pass off to Wright, rotated over to Alexander on the left side. Long cross-court pass on left-hand dribble in the lane. Back up jumper is good.
And what a time for Singapore to start flicking from the outside.
8-point lead matches their biggest lead of the afternoon. Mario almost has his pocket pick. Williams, still Williams, losing the ball, and another turnover. Wow.
And that time, credit that turnover to AJ Mandani, getting his hand in there for the deflection.
So, at the 4-minute mark, plenty of time left for Indonesia to recover, but Singapore spreading out the offense now. A little bit more deliberate. Really performing in their half-court set. Here's Alexander on the reverse, off the mark. Right there to clean it up is Wright.
And that's one thing Wright does well, always with a nose for the ball, getting that offensive rebound, cleaning that miss from Xavier Alexander.
Lish working on number 12, Mondani. Out of traffic, splitting two defenders. Ball off the jump ball. That should go the way of Indonesia. As you remember, Singapore got the last one. So 74-64, a 10-point bulge now for the Slingers, Marco.
And I'm sure Indonesia did not expect Singapore to explode like this. There's a great block there on the part of Wright.
Didn't foul, was able to keep his body separate. Wright now with 19 points along with those 3 fouls. So Williams, the only one in immediate foul trouble now with 4. 3:28 to go, and a timeout's going to be called by Singapore. So 3:28 to go. Marco Benitez and Singapore really stepping on the gas, and in response, Knight's not showing a whole lot.
That is correct, Chuck. And you know, Singapore, as what they have done last season, they're putting the clamps on defense. Just 6 points for Indonesia here in the 4th quarter with about 3.5 minutes remaining, while Singapore Slingers, I believe they already put up about 16 points here in the 4th.
Star of the 4th quarter, of course, can't deny Xavier Alexander, but what about the move to put insert AJ Mondani? He really changed the tempo of the game in a hurry.
That is correct. Did not score a lot, but he found his open teammate, Xavier Alexander. Also have to give a lot of credit to Ryan Wright, and I think one of the guys who is unheralded, Larry Liu, playing great defense against Mario Wuisang, has not allowed him to really create for his other teammates.
Mondani doing it in the open court and in the half court, so being the role player that they envisioned of him. There he is right there. The veteran of the PBA. He's been around the block and then some. Played with, don't have my papers not big enough to list the amount of teams that he's played on, but he's been around the block. He knows he's been in this sort of situation many, many times, and he's not the type of guy that's going to swallow the ball in a pressure-packed situation.
He knows that when he comes into a system, he has a role to play, and right now playing it to the hilt.
So Larry Liu also having a pretty good 4th quarter. Ball picked off. Oh no, and given right back. Williams, easy 2 for him. No, he blows the triple. And a foul. Wow. Well, these are just tired moves by this Indonesian team. They are being hounded on defense and showing on the offensive end.
And that miss from Brian Williams, just a factor of frustration, or of exhaustion there. Point blank miss.
Silly pass there also by Liu, so he dodges the bullet. So 3:17 with a 10-point lead. Singapore will be judicious in their ball control offense. Now Alexander around the screen. Shot clock down to 9. Trapped over on the side. He gets out of it. Now he rolls to the basket. Over to Liu. Can't finish. Return is no good. Not out of bounds, or is it? Liu somehow comes up with it. Last touch, I believe, before that. So it'll be Singapore ball with a fresh 14. My goodness.
Hey, Chuck, break still going the way of Singapore. Han Bing had a wide open lane there, opting to drop it off to Larry Liu.
Mondani, will this be the dagger? No, but right into the path of Wright. Under 3 minutes, Wright. Back up jumper, soft touch, up and in.
And Brian Williams nowhere to be found on defense, picking up Xavier Alexander, who is out in the perimeter.
So the Ellis Brock show and the Brian Williams show, a no-show here in the 4th quarter. Lish trying to get something jump-started, cannot. Singapore off on the run. Liu, he'll wait for traffic. Under 2.5 to play here, and Wright being manhandled down on the low block there, and foul will go on number 24, Mohamed Saroni.
That's easy call there on the part of the referee. Saroni preventing Ryan Wright to get post position.
There it is right there, and Saroni says, no. Baseline, Alexander pops it out to Liu. He's got Mandani to the right. He'll slip over. Build up on the right-hand side for the Slingers. Liu, Mandani, into the hands of Wright, who wasn't expecting it. Long lead pass, should be a finish. No, Sandy will back it up again. Back up three is no good. And Indonesia cannot buy a basket, and that might put it to rest.
And Coach Coco telling Sandy, go for the open layup in transition.
Liu, Alexander now. 10 left on the shot clock. Minute 42 on the game clock. Long three. Back rim. Williams with the ball. Still Williams. Spin move. Hesitation shot in the middle. Way off the mark that time. And Indonesia, I think it's truthfully been about 3 minutes since they've scored. I think Lish, the last one to score. So a very, very tired and hassled CLS Knights team who are really, it's been a wear-down job since the end of the third quarter. So timeout by Singapore. They lead 76-64. And DeMarco, their game to lose.
Well, it's been a signature Singapore Slingers basketball, grinding out through 3 quarters, and then the defense taking its toll on the part of the CLS Knights. Something probably wrong with Evan Brock because he's on the bench here in this crucial stretch in the fourth quarter. And that transition fast break there really showing us the weakness of Brian Williams' game.
They do have the 2 big Americans who were a factor the first 3 quarters, but you can see fatigue really doing a number on them, just not having anything left in the tank in which to respond with. So when that happens, you don't have the defense not able to cover the shooters, and as a result, Singapore getting wide open shots and they're knocking them down.
And that's correct. And one thing you like about Ryan Wright, still looking fresh here deep into the fourth quarter. Actually, Wright and Xavier Alexander still crashing those boards, running in transition. And I think that has been one of the big differences here for Singapore.
So Singapore will try and hold on for a minute 29 seconds, and they will get their inaugural win out of the 2017-2018 season. And Lish, not a happy camper right now. And really, I thought you made a statement earlier on that rings true, especially now as we look at retrospectively at the game. Singapore has done a great job defending the locals of Indonesia, who really bore a hole through for most of last week.
And you're right, Chuck, they have yet to score here. Only scored 6 points in the fourth quarter, so terrific job defensively by Singapore.
Alexander on the reverse, hopeful shot there. Williams will lead the break. Lish, no, check that, in the lane. And a foul on number 11, Larry Liu, from the weak side. So that will stop the clock at a minute 10. Blocking foul.
That's going to send Arif Hidayat to the free throw stripe. Has not really been a factor in this ball game.
2 free throws coming from Arif Hidayat.
The coach talking to Alexander. He will be in charge of rallying the troops the last minute or two. Yeah, it's the first we've seen of Arif Hidayat, I think. 5'10", guard, 157 pounds, 26 years of age.
And for Singapore, you don't have to really do anything fancy here. Just bring the ball, milk the shot clock, and it's an 11-point, make a 10-point advantage. So just take care of the basketball. Don't commit any turnovers.
So Liu will inbound it. He's got Ung. Mandani to the right side. Alexander, of course, in the backcourt. They'll get the ball to him. Full court pressure. They break that easy enough. Liu will probably back it up. We rotate down below a minute now. 14 on the shot clock. At what point does Lish and company decide to foul Wright? Almost loses it. 8 seconds on the shot clock. He's going to have to be creative now. Williams doing a good job staying with Wright. 1 second, fires up a wild shot off the mark right at the stroke of midnight. Under a minute to go, pushing it now quickly. Lish turns the corner. Active hands in the lane as usual for Singapore, and a foul.
And that's going to be an unsportsmanlike foul because he did not make a play on the ball. So things getting worse here for Indonesia. 2 free throws plus ball possession, and that might just seal it for Singapore.
32.8 and a 10-point lead plus 2 trips at the line plus possession. I don't see any way back for the Knights, who really, I thought, when we were talking at halftime, I thought they would have the advantage, but what I didn't count on is the fitness problems that Indonesia would have going down the stretch. Not in the sense that the guys aren't fit, but just asked to play, I think, too many minutes.
I think that's been a big factor. You see here, Evan Brock not playing in the last 3 minutes of the ball game. Brian Williams too tired to make those point-blank range shots. And really, you also have to give a lot of credit to Singapore. Played the tempo that they wanted to play. Xavier Alexander got out in the break. Ryan Wright as well crashed those boards. And just a good job overall on both ends from Singapore.
Singapore able to force some turnovers, active hands in the lanes, knocking down, swatting down shots, passes, whatever. And Russell Lowe checking into the game. What a marvelous effort he's had today, 10 points. So Singapore, of course, they're going to miss a guy like Howard, but you look at their 2 bigs or 2 local bigs, and really 16 points, and in between them about 9-10 boards. That's not too shabby.
That's good. As long as they can get consistent effort from Ryan Wright, and of course the all-around game from Xavier Alexander, it's really going to be a big positive for Singapore.
So a game of keep away at the moment, and Liu says why not. Skies a shot back into the hands of Liu, loft out of bounds. So 13.6, and Singapore will rise to 1-1. The CLS Knights will go home and lick their wounds. They will fall to 1-1. And I think what we're going to also see, Marco, is, and we mentioned it briefly before the game, is parity in this league. I mean, you may make a case that the 2 northern powers, the Chinese and the Hong Kong team, might on paper have a lot of talent. Is that 3 misses, and that will do it. But I think up and down this league, we're going to see parity, and that can be nothing but good for the ABL.
That is correct, Chuck. And for Singapore, this is just a great stepping stone that they can use. They're going to have a game in 3 days against Ala Pilipinas in the Ala Pilipinas' home court. So what a way to bounce back from that loss against the Chongson Kung Fu Basketball Club.
Well, it wasn't easy. It was anybody's game through about 3 quarters. Singapore going to work in transition, forcing some turnovers and just full of energy. The X-Man Xavier Alexander leading the way, 27 points. Wright is running mate with 21. Russell Lowe with 10 points on the other side of the ball. 23 for Brock, 15 for Williams, but not a whole lot of anything else as the Knights go down to an 11-point lead, 77-66. The Slingers get it done here at the OCBC Arena to register their first win of the season. So the crowd that braved the little bit of a rain earlier are rewarded. So the Slingers are keeping their head above water. So the play of the game will be Xavier Alexander, and what a game he did have. We said leading all scorers with 27, coming off a so-so game up in China where he had only 14, but 7 rebounds and 8 assists in that losing effort too. Backdoor Alexander with the slam in the Indonesian defense at that point, a mere shadow of themselves of what they showed the first 3 quarters. Another look out, a little skip pass by Mondani. Great telepathy between those 2s, and that's what you want. Mondani really showing himself here in the game for Singapore in a winning effort by 11 points. So that'll pretty much wrap it up here from the OCBC Arena. From the production staff and for Marco Benitez, this is Chuck Schreiner. We'll be back on December 10th right here at the OCBC Arena. Final score once again, Singapore Slingers 76, CLS Knights 66. Slingers rise to 1-1. The Knights fall to 1-1. For everybody here, so long till next time. Goodbye.
you want to check the handheld mic? One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two.
So, how many questions they want? 2?
I don't know how many questions.
How many questions?
How many questions are there? 3 or 4 questions.
Okay.
Can you...
Sure. You want me to get back here?
Move? Yeah, okay. And only him on the frame, right?
Yep.
3, 4 questions, reflection on the game.
Okay.
What went wrong, what went right.
Okay.
Okay.
We're here with Brian Williams, 15 points in a losing effort for the CLS Knights. And Brian, anybody's game until, say, midway through the fourth quarter. What went wrong?
We lost our composure, I think. I mean, way too many turnovers and playing too fast. I mean, that's how we played, but we just played way too fast to win a game.
Now, you and Brock seem to have a little bit of telepathy going. I think you guys would be before the season's over, you're going to be a pretty powerful force duo there, high-low post. You can switch it up at any time. How long have you guys played together?
This is his first practice. He got in last night, so I mean, it's the first time I played against Evan about 5 years ago. But I mean, we got to learn our spots and learn where we like the ball more. But we'll get better as time moves on. But it was a tough game tonight.
Now, defensively, the team, especially the local guys, seemed to wilt a little bit under the pressure of the last quarter after just a huge game against for most of the last time. What would you attribute that to?
I mean, I think it's their first time on the road. I mean, usually they play inside Indonesia, different. There was a lot going on, and we didn't execute our game plan at all like this from all 5 starters, bench players. We just didn't play good at all from top to bottom.
Now, you're going to be seeing Singapore 3 more times, so I'm sure that they're not going to be any mystery to you once the season ends. But who on the other side of the ball? Of course, X had a great game. But anybody else strike you as a guy that you guys might need to neutralize a little bit better next time?
I mean, there's no way X should have 25 points double him. That's a guess. He's right there talking now. But X should never did that. I don't know. But that's our main concern. If you take him out the game, they have nothing really.
You seem to have a little bit of trouble getting out in the open court a little bit more. I saw you guys last week against Formosa. You guys were excellent running the court and everything. It sort of got bogged down towards the end.
Like I said, we lost our composure. We didn't play. We moved too fast. We played, like I said, we played fast, but we played way too fast. And nobody filled the right lanes. And Evan coming in and nobody knowing his game. It took a long time to adapt, but I think we'll be better moving on.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Brian, and good luck going forward.
Appreciate that, man.
Thanks, buddy. Good job, man. Thank you. Good win. Solid. Oh, yeah. With Xavier Alexander, the forward, and everything for the Singapore.
Alexander, you look at him. Look at it.
Okay. With number 15, Xavier Alexander, everything for Singapore, especially today. 27 points in a winning effort. That fourth quarter, a sight to behold over here. You guys really shut it down on defense.
Yes, sir. You know, the past couple of years, defense has been our anchor, and we just wanted to get back to that today. And we know that's how we can be successful. So we tried to, you know, hang our hats on that, and we were able to be successful today.
Tough transition, especially for the game that you had to play last year with Howard around. Now it's Ryan Wright. What sort of adjustments have you had to make?
You know, it's different. You know, they both are great basketball players. You know, they bring something different to the game. With Ryan, you know, it's more up tempo. You know, he might not be as big inside, but as fast as he runs and as athletic as he is, he's giving us something good here.
A lot of things you did, X, that won't show up into the, I don't know if you had a triple or double or not, I wouldn't be surprised, but a lot of things that you do sometimes don't show up in the scorebook. The things that you do to make the other players better. The local kids, which ones today really impressed you?
It was good to have, you know, Falkoff, you know, Larry Lou. Han Ben stepped up and made some big shots, as well as AJ. You know, AJ had a tough night the first game. He came out aggressive today, and like I said, we were able to be successful.
You guys noted always Singapore senior teams are good in the open court, but today it looked like you executed really well your half-court set, especially on the offensive end, and then on the defensive end, you did a great job getting your hands in the lane too. How important is that you guys establish some notoriety on the offensive set on your half-court game?
It's very important, you know, because we can't just be one-dimensional and only be able to, you know, run the fast break. So today, with about 3 or 4 minutes left, you know, we was up pretty big, and I just wanted to control the game and tell the guys to slow down. And even if we get a shot clock violation, you know, the time is running. So we just wanted to be clinical on that, and you know, we were able to be good in the half-court set today.
Great job to get your first victory, huh? After a little bit of a drubbing last week to come back home to a great amount of fans tonight, and you guys have to be really happy going forward, huh?
Yes, sir. Looking forward to, you know, going to the Philippines now. I want to thank the Singapore fans for the first season opening. It was a great turnout, and we fed off their energy and was able to get a win tonight.
Xavier Alexander, 27 points tonight, leading all scorers.